was in Phoenix, Arizona, and what I noticed was that there were so many self-driving cars. So passengers, but no drivers. And I remember 10 years ago that I thought, well, maybe at some point in the future we're going to have cars that drive autonomously on the highway, but then if we go into like the cities, pedestrians, bikers, that's probably where a human takes over, right? It's too dangerous. And suddenly we live in the future, and we have these autonomous vehicles in the middle of our cities. Things are changing and moving faster than ever. And the reason I was in Phoenix was to attend a mastermind for entrepreneurs. And what I took away from that is that we're going to get an 80-20 situation where 80% of current businesses, current jobs, they'll disappear. But for the remaining 20%, there will be so much more opportunity to bring more of our humanity in that. And today, I want to share how we can be part of that 20%, how we can get ahead of things. So, in those 20%, in my opinion, what will be really important is the network that you have, the connections, the trust that you build throughout the years. In-person experiences, real-life experiences will be super important. We're all tired of looking at screens all day and scrolling on social media. And lastly, communities. I believe that these things will be so powerful in the future now that we're in an AI revolution and that a lot of things are changing. And in my humble opinion, in-person events are the most powerful way to create all of those things. So that's what today is going to be about. If it's okay with you, I'll do a really quick introduction of myself and then we dive right into the in-person event strategy. Sound good?
Yep.
Yes. All right. So, my name is Marcel. I have a very difficult to pronounce last name in English, so I'm not even going to try that. I'm the founder of the Amsterdam Founders Club and more recently also the Event Academy, where we help entrepreneurs to host events to attract clients to their business and to grow their business. So instead of just a local impact, we're now making a global impact and helping entrepreneurs all over the world to organize events. I grew up in the countryside of the Netherlands, and when I was 16 years old, we finally got an internet connection, and I quickly figured out how to make money online with affiliate marketing and started my first businesses, and things kind of moved from there. I've never really had a job or a formal education, but I always had side hustles and built businesses because that's what I truly love. I'm quite minimalistic, so everything that I own fits in the trunk of my car, except the car itself. And I came to realize that minimalistic is kind of relative because I'm meeting some people here and they say like, well, all I own is one sock and a pair of sunglasses. So on the Nomad Cruise, I'm not so minimalistic. But yeah, I don't have a house since 2019 because I was tired of living in a routine and missing out on so many other opportunities in life. So every time I decide where I want to spend my time. I'm a co-founder of a tech business that I exited about 3 years ago. And I love a good steak. And I also love desserts. And when I meet people and I say that I do intermittent fasting, they're always like, oh, you're this health-conscious biohacker. The reality is that when I was traveling to the US for these events and I wanted to eat at those nice steakhouses and I wanted to also get a dessert, those were American-sized desserts for 7 people. And the only way I could eat also a dessert was to do intermittent fasting. But I do graciously take the assumption that I'm a health-conscious biohacker who does intermittent fasting for that reason. I'm also much more introverted than extroverted. So at social events you might often see me in the background. And sometimes people are wondering, as an introvert, why are you an event organizer? And the reason is that I'm hosting events because I am introverted. As the host of an event, you have total control of who you invite, when, where the event is, for which duration, and you can make the most out of your time and social energy, rather than going to someone else's event and hoping for the best. So especially for introverted people, hosting events is amazingly powerful. Enough about me. Let's talk about you and how in-person events can help you grow your business and build the life of your dreams. Who here in the room is an entrepreneur or wants to be an entrepreneur? Yeah, that's perfect, because this talk is tailored to attracting clients and growing a business with in-person events. But keep in mind also, if you have no interest in becoming an entrepreneur, events are an amazing opportunity to expand your network, to make new friends in a place where you don't know anyone. I started doing events long before I made it a business. So, entrepreneur or not, hosting events is incredibly powerful. Just to get a little bit of a feel for where you guys are at, if you are not hosting events, what is the reason for that by a raise of hands? Is it that you don't see how they will help your business? Okay, only a few. Is it that you don't have enough time, or you don't think it's worth your time? Is it that you don't feel ready to host your first event? You don't have the network, you don't feel like you're an authority in your niche, not confident enough, don't know how to speak in front of a group? Or is it that you're not sure if people will actually come to your event? Okay, a little bit of a mix there. I'm gonna try to cover all of those things. And we'll cover how to attract and convert premium clients by hosting small in-person events, and also other ways to grow your business through in-person events. We'll talk about how you can actually create more time and freedom for yourself by hosting in-person events. We'll discuss how to host your first event even when you don't have a network and you don't have experience organizing events yet. And then how to get the right people in the room every time you host an event. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Alright, let's start with I'm not sure how events will help my business. And this is where I'll also be very transparent with you guys. I used to run a tech business. It was called Trending Jobs, a job search platform for people in the United States. And it gave me the financial freedom and kind of the life that I had once dreamed of in many ways. But something was also unfulfilling, and I came to realize that I get extremely annoyed if only one technical issue occurs anywhere, whether that's in business or whether an app on my phone doesn't work instantly. If you run a tech business, your whole life is technical things, technical problems. So I left that behind, and I started going all in on in-person events, bringing people together in person so I could actually see the impact that I was making on people. And that was so much more fulfilling. In many ways, organizing in-person events helped me to create a life that I couldn't even dream was possible. But also, I do think I have some talent for making money. I also have a talent for spending money. And with the other business, that was actually a great, comfortable income. But events, until about half a year ago, I hadn't really figured it out. And sometimes I was thinking, well, I'm putting in so much time, effort, energy, and I'm not really getting the income that I would like to see from it. And this was until half a year ago. And I got invited to a mastermind for entrepreneurs. It was hosted in New York. And it was invite only, but it was a free event. So I already knew they are probably going to sell something expensive. So I had this conversation with myself. I said, Marcel, I'm going to this event, but right now you have some other things to focus on. You still have some other investments to make. You don't have a lot of time and energy for new things. So do not buy anything expensive, Marcel. I said this to myself. Then we had this great event, and I received so much value and also connected with all the people at the event. And then a bit towards the end of the event, the founder of that mastermind, he said, well, we have this special offer, and normally it's 100,000 euros. but if you buy today, it's only 33,000 euros. And I heard myself say, that is perfect. Here's my credit card. And I was like, what happened? And to be fair, like, this was a great offer. I'm really happy I invested in it. But this shows to me the power of in-person event, because I wasn't the only one who bought this. There were about 40 people at the event, and I think this guy made at least 600,000 euros from the sales at that event. And it was the combination of getting the right people in the room and then providing a bunch of value and then making the right offer. Once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it, that a lot of the successful events that we see, they're not really events businesses. They have this back-end offer that is actually the core business, and the events are a way to fuel their actual core business. Some of you might know Mind Valley. I'm sure they make a couple of million from the yearly event, but their real business is selling the very high profit back-end online offers, their online academy. This is a photo of a mastermind. That was actually a mastermind in Phoenix that I attended, some guys in real estate who do in-person events, and they claim to have made $5.7 million from a single event. Getting the right people in the room and having the right back-end offer combined with providing a lot of value. It's like a magic formula, especially now that we're looking so much at screens. Bringing people together in person really makes you stand out and generates margins that are quite unique. I started applying it myself as well, and that's when my business changed quite a bit. So instead of just selling the event tickets and trying to generate money on the front end, I started to redesign the events a little bit to also sell back-end offers. And this is how I was able to launch the Event Academy even before I created it. So I shared on stage during the event the idea, and I gave people an opportunity to join if they like the idea. And 22 people bought it on the spot. So that's how powerful in-person events can be if designed correctly. The quick summary of how to actually generate sales with in-person events is to get your ideal clients into a room, provide a bunch of value to them, and then connect it with a back-end offer. You can either make the back-end offer during the event, or if you don't feel comfortable with that, you have a bunch of warm leads and you can follow up later. A bonus benefit is that you create a massive lead list, mailing list, because for every event that you announce, people are going to ask, I cannot be there this time, but can you please let me know about the next one? So you build a massive mailing list. Also, everyone who attended your event can opt in to be part of your mailing list. You'll instantly become an authority if you organize in-person events. Another benefit. Let's say I would organize an event for top professional chefs. A lot of people will automatically assume that I know a lot of things about cooking. The truth is, the last time I cooked anything was in April of 2023, and that was when I fried an egg. So I'm not exactly the authority on chefs and cooking, but there is just something that if you're the organizer, if you're bringing people together in a certain industry, you automatically get that credibility of being an expert in that field, so it can strengthen what you already do a lot. Visibility, also not to be underestimated. If you announce an event with your business, you get a lot of visibility, leads and sales leading up to the event and after the event when people share about it. And you build community. Inevitably, if you do events, you build a community, which is one of the most powerful assets now and in the future. To be fair, it does take time to prepare, promote, and host an event. But there's a flip side as well. If you look at me on social media, I don't have a lot of followers, I don't post a lot, but people post about the events all the time, and they always tag Amsterdam Founders Club, they always tag me. This is how we got to grow so quickly in less than 2 years, build the most popular monthly founders events in Amsterdam, because other people became our ambassadors. So doing events saves a lot of time on whatever else you have to do to be visible to promote your business. You create ambassadors who do the marketing for you. And one of the ways I do this is by making it very easy for people to share about events. We have professional photos taken at the events, then we add watermarks to it. In this case, you see there's the logo Amsterdam Founders Club, and then anytime people share something on social media, they promote the Amsterdam Founders Club. You can replace that by your logo and you'll create a bunch of ambassadors promoting your business for the years to come, because people love having professional photos of themselves at events. Bonus benefits, it also helps to grow your network, where you normally might spend a bunch of time going to networking events, reaching out to people. An event draws people in. Attendees bring a +1. It's so much faster and easier to grow your network if you organize in-person events. If you don't feel ready to host your first event, this is actually a little bit of a full circle moment. My first event that I did was on the Nomad Cruise in 2019. This was when we had pieces of paper and you could propose a meetup. And I did two. I had one meetup where 3 people showed up, and then my biggest fear was that no one would show up to my meetup, right? I was like, oh, people are gonna think I'm an idiot and they're never gonna forget it and my life's gonna be over. And I actually had one of those meetups where no one showed up. And guess what happened? People moved on with their life. The world kept spinning around, my life went on, no one even noticed, right? So this made me realize, A, even if that happens, not the end of the world, so it made me more resilient to do and try new things in the future. And it also gave me directions to do a better job at marketing and explaining the benefits of my event the next time. It can happen that your first event is not the perfect success, but it is what's going to give you the input to make it better and become really successful over time. Then if you don't feel like you're ready to speak in front of a group, this is an actual photo of me speaking in front of a group for the very first time at an event in Buenos Aires. We had 30-40 people. Not sure if I look ready, but I definitely wasn't ready to speak in front of a group. Was very nervous, probably did a very bad job, but actually getting out there made me confident enough to speak at future events, and I got better every time. So I only became ready by jumping in. And then if you don't feel like you have the systems or you need to do this, all the setups before you host an event, this was the setup for the first half year of my events. It was a note on an iPhone and a WhatsApp group with an RSVP list. That's it. So my invitation is really to get over yourself and host your first event, even if you don't feel ready, because you might never feel ready to host your first event. I definitely never felt ready, but actually jumping in and putting in the reps, that made me an event host. Then, a lot of people are uncertain, if I do an event, will people actually come to my event? And I can see that, why you are nervous about that, and that's why I want to give you the tools to make it as likely as possible that you have the best people in the room even for your first event. So I'll just give an example here. I went to Austin and I wanted to host an event for entrepreneurs. But the problem was I didn't know anyone yet. So what I did, I looked at which other events were already organized, looked up who were the organizers of those events, and I reached out to them on LinkedIn. I said, hey, great that you're organizing these events. I appreciate it. I look forward to attending then and then. And then I included something like, I also want to organize events or something like that. I mentioned the intention to organize events. And one of the organizers in this case, actually I think multiple reached back, but she said, well, that's fantastic and looking forward to seeing you at the event, but also let's grab a coffee and here's an invitation for another private event that's not advertised. So that gave me a bunch of connections with the right people to actually do my first events in Austin. I also didn't have a location, but I asked in the group. We found the location through the people that I met through reaching out. So if you're like, yeah, I don't have the connections yet, it starts really with reaching out, getting yourself out there and making those connections. The organizing and hosting events is actually what builds the network. So it's not the other way around, that you need a network before you start hosting events. Other way that you can do that is to collaborate with communities and businesses. When I started doing digital nomad meetups, this was in Playa del Carmen, and I just connected with Johannes. And I said, hey, would it be cool if we collaborate on events, on meetups for digital nomads? And maybe I didn't have so many connections, but often communities, businesses, they really want more in-person events for their community. So you can come in and say, hey, can we collaborate on this? And then you're the host, but someone else is bringing in a lot of the people to the event. Make sense?
Makes sense.
And on a slightly bigger scale, we have a monthly event in Amsterdam, the Founders Club night, and this is where it's a bit bigger. We have 100 seats, we sell out every time, and one of the ways that we do this is I invite a bunch of guest speakers, and all of them obviously share with their network. So you can already see if you're going to the event, hey, these guys are at the event, they will share with their network. I also incentivize them, I give them a promo kit, I give them a coupon so they can invite a +1 for free, and then another coupon so they can invite people with 40% discount. So that's how getting the first people on board to join your event can really fill up the rest of your event. So let's summarize quickly. Attracting and converting clients by hosting small in-person events. Really start with the end goal in mind. So if your goal is to sell something, make sure your event is designed in every single detail to lead to that. If it's just to make friends for you, to expand your network, you can keep it more simple. Then make sure you get your ideal clients in the room, you provide value, focus only on providing value, giving them the greatest value, and then you connect it with making a backend offer at the event or after the event. How to create more time and freedom for yourself by hosting events is because events create ambassadors. They will do your marketing and promotion for you. Hosting your first event, even when you don't have a network, invite a well-connected co-host, invite guest speakers, collaborate with existing communities and businesses so you don't have to do all the heavy lifting of getting people in the room. But mostly get over yourself. Like, if you've never organized an event before, the only way you're going to be good at this is by putting in the reps, by announcing your first event. Then how to get the right people in the room. Every time you host an event, you can really grow an event with collaborators. So invite people to come to your event, to speak at your event, and to share with their network. That will also give you the social proof, the testimonial, so every time you host a new event, it will be easier. So make sure you have those photos, videos of the event to share. My biggest invitation to you is my first Nomad Cruise that I joined. That is where I took the step to organize my first event, because it was so easy. Everyone was already there, and you have that opportunity as well. This is the perfect environment to host your first event or meetup. So I really invite you, if you take anything away from this talk, to take your first step and maybe do something on the cruise already. Guys, thank you so much. That was my time.